There's a word that a lot of people use automatically without thinking about it. And maybe you use this word too. But every time this word is said, it reinforces difficulty in life. And we don't even realize that we're doing that. The word is struggle. In this video, I'm going to show you why the use of the word struggle actually makes things heavier than they need to be. And I'm going to give you a simple shift, just one word that you can change that changes how your mind approaches the exact same situation. Now, this isn't about pretending things are easy. It's about taking control over your mental and emotional experience of things that can feel harder than you want them to be in life and in general and in whatever you're talking about at the time. So I'm Garrett Fromme, and this channel is about one thing, the words you use every day and how they shape the results of your life. Most people aren't stuck because of their situation in life. They're stuck because the words they use unconsciously and reinforce that describe the situations. And the word struggle is one of these words. So let's break this down. Think about how often this word shows up. I'm struggling with money. I'm struggling in my relationship. I struggle to stay consistent. Life is a struggle, whatever it may be. We say it so casually that we don't even question it. But here's what's really happening. When you say I'm struggling, you're not just describing a situation. You're telling your brain how to experience the situation. Because the word struggle carries weight. It feels heavy and draining. It feels like an ongoing battle, like you're trying to swim through a pool of gooey tar. When your brain hears struggle, after you say it, it shifts into survival mode. And survival mode means let's do things as easy as possible or get away from whatever it feels hard. It puts us in less creativity, more emotional resistance, more pressure. It amps up the heaviness of whatever it is that you're looking at. When we use this word in a situation, we identify that situation as perpetually hard. Like it will stay hard no matter where we are at in the process. So I struggle with money. That means we are perpetually challenged with money, having difficulties with money. You're not just dealing with something difficult. You're reinforcing that whatever it is hard. Let's get to a deeper layer, life as a struggle, because this does go deeper than just one situation if we're using the term struggle. For a lot of people, it itself feels like struggle. Life does. Money feels like a struggle. Relationships feel like a struggle. Progress feels like a struggle. Getting ahead in your job feels like a struggle. And when that becomes the language that we speak over and over again, it literally becomes our internal identity. In other words, the psychology of using that word over and over bleeds into all aspects of how we perceive life in everything we do. In other words, the feeling behind the word leaks into everything that we experience, not just with something difficult that you're dealing with at the moment. It's how you start to experience everything. Life feels heavy by default because you use the word struggle. You expect resistance because you use the word struggle. You start to think it's always going to be hard. I don't know if I can ever get there. Maybe this just isn't for me. You're not just reacting to life when you're using that word, you're filtering life through the word struggle. And therefore, life becomes a burden. So, how do we change this? What do we need to do? Well, we need to consciously first become aware that we use that word, and then we need to change it to a much more empowering word that doesn't necessarily take away the difficulty that you're going to experience behind it. So, I'm going to show you just this one word. And I want you to feel the difference. Not just think it, but feel it. So instead of the word struggle, feel the word challenge. What if life, instead of it being a struggle, becomes a series of challenges? Same situations. I'm struggling with money. Becomes I'm challenged with money, but I'm working through it. This is what challenge does because it opens things up. I'm struggling to stay consistent. Becomes this is a challenge that I'm figuring out. You feel the shift between struggle, which means you're trying to get through something. Challenge means it's going to take some effort, but there's a possibility of getting through it. A challenge feels different. It's lighter, it's more open, it's engaging, it's something you can step into. We can step into a challenge. We don't want to step into a struggle. We don't want to step into something that's pressing down on us. Here's the key. It doesn't make things less difficult, but it gives you more emotional and mental possibility in how you can meet the situation. Struggle closes you. That word, it feels like it stops you. It's like adding a heavy weight to a backpack. Challenge opens you up. It just seems to lighten that backpack weight just a little bit. When life is a struggle, you endure it. It's an effort. It's a trudge. When life is a challenge, you can engage with it. And here's what happens. Your brain hears you say a word like struggle, and your subconscious just accepts it. Oh, this is a struggle. Life is a struggle. That's a struggle. Everything must be a struggle because we keep reinforcing it by automatically saying these words. So our brain is hearing it through our ears. So if we start to be really conscious and catch ourselves, the brain is going to start going, wait a minute, maybe it doesn't have to be as hard as we're feeling it to be. So, same situation, completely different emotional experiences between the word struggle and challenge based on one single word because of how the mind feels about the energy of the word. Struggle feels heavy, stuck, emotional. Challenge feels active, focused, and forward moving. Nothing external changed, but everything internal did, just with that one word and how we perceive that word, because the feeling of the words is so different. So here's what I want you to do. Catch yourself, or when someone else uses the word struggle. Every time you say the word struggle, pause, stop yourself, say, wait, no, this isn't a struggle. This is a challenge. And when you say challenge, it's just something lifts up inside of you, not because you're denying reality, but because you're deciding how you are going to meet it. And that would be with more power and vision of an outcome that you want to achieve. Most people think life is difficult and hard because of what's happening, but it's often because of the meaning they attach to what's happening. In your words, it's how the meaning gets created through your thoughts and verbally described and reinforced, becoming very conscious of the words that we use. And this one, struggle versus challenge, gives you the power to reframe these words. And our brain starts to say, wait, there's a new perspective of possibility here. And over time, as you keep doing this, that has an impact on everything in your life. And life seems to start to move forward. So we covered what the word struggle, how it makes things heavier, and you have felt it now. It turns your mind to more resistance, survival mode, and over time it turn into how you experience life altogether. But when you use challenge, it moves you into engagement, focus, and possibility. So pay attention to your words, specifically struggle this week. Start replacing it with challenge. If you got something out of this video, hey, subscribe and leave a comment. Did this one word like hit you in the way you want it to? If you see somebody who is struggling, maybe pass on this video if they use the word struggle, because we don't want to use this word struggle anymore. They're challenged. See you in the next video.